who else than Nick Benito to make a play with the game on the line? This is a beautiful play call by the Commanders because it ends up being wide open. It's just taking the running back and running him out to the left flat. And Benito, if he doesn't get a hand on this, the Broncos lose this game. Like, look, there's no one there because Debo's picking here. That's supposed to be his man. So, like, look at all this green grass, guys. But Benito's right here, and he's going to jump up and bat this down. And the Broncos get the win. I mean, oh my God, this was such a good game. Here's another look at it. You can see Benito's not blocked, so he knows that the ball is going out to that way. He's got Mariota backpedaling, and he's not going to be able to get enough on this, too. Is Benito, man. Game-winning play right here. And here's the Broncos' opening drive. They did lose the toss, so they had to put their offense out there. And the Broncos, they find a way to get it done. Bo Nix just throws it down to the check down and gets a big gain off of it. And on this play, he's going to step up in the pocket, avoid that rusher, and then another check down. And now you're in midfield basically to this point. Ingram's able to work his way open against the linebacker. Bobby Wagner against Evan Ingram. It's just not fair. Now we're in the red zone. This is where the money happens. Yeah, the Broncos, they just Bo Nix is just throwing it to where the defense isn't. Basically goes to the flat. Bo Nix knows that. And he's going to get them, of course, inside the 5. And then to this point, it's just RJ Harvey time. Let's motion 82 to the left. Hand it off to him. He picks up that edge. And then all he has to do, Harvey, is just run. It's a bunch of green grass, and he's going to score. So the Denver Broncos picked up a massive win last night in overtime against the Washington Commanders. And they're now 10-2 on the season. This defense is just otherworldly right now. It came down to a 2-point conversion after the Broncos scored an OT. The Commanders then scored, and they went for 2. And Nick Benito flew off the edge unblocked on a blitz and was able to bat it down at the line of scrimmage. Denver right now would have home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. They'd have a first-round bye. And coming into the season, this is the best thing we could have asked for. I mean, literally, guys, Denver is right where we would have wanted them to be in terms of their ceiling. Now, don't get me wrong here. There is a lot of work to do if the Broncos want to win a Super Bowl. But we've seen so much flashes of just the offense being able to methodically push the ball down the field. Like the drive in overtime, they went right down and scored. Evan Ingram had a big catch. And I keep saying every video, they've got to get this guy more involved. And they're finally starting to, and it's paying off. But just the defense, I mean, they gave up a pretty decent amount of explosive plays, if I'm being honest. But that's because Washington, they've got Terry. They've got, of course, the tight end position as Zach Ertz. They've also got Debo Samuel. So I knew they were going to be able to get points. But when it was on the line, Denver got it done. And I also like, of course, again, getting the ball in overtime, knowing that even if you score, the other team has 4 downs. So it's very, very ballsy to get the ball first in overtime. So I'm on Twitter right now, and I see that the Commanders won the coin toss, and they put their defense on the field. That makes total sense because it would have been insane if the Broncos put their offense on the field first and scored, given of how good their defense is. But still, that's kind of the advantage of being Denver is that teams, they're going to want to have their defense on the field to test you. And the Broncos, their offense said, okay, we're going to go down, we're going to score, and we trust our defense, of course, because they've got 4 down, so that's a lot to ask for. And they did give up a touchdown, but there just isn't a better defense in football than Denver, especially down on the goal line. We were able to see that, of course, of Nick Benito making a play. Should be towards the top of Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett absolutely will get it and should get it, but Nick Benito, I mean, if it wasn't for Myles Garrett, like there's just not very many players playing better. Of course, certainly Micah Parsons deserves to be in that, but Benito, time and time again, when the game's on the line, makes a play. And I'm honestly proud of the way the offense went out there. Like 27 points, they're going to win that every single time. Bo Nix, 321 yards, did throw for 45 attempts, which is a lot. Like that's a little bit too much if I'm being real. The offense did put up points, but I think a large reason why they didn't have more to show is because of the lack of run game. 87 yards. You see, the Broncos, they're going to be unbeatable when they rush for over 100 yards, and then they're able to build off of that. But asking Bo Nix to throw 45 times is just a recipe for disaster. You love to see 321 yards, but on 45 attempts, that's just not good efficiency. Bo Nix, I mean, he did a good job of taking care of the ball. He had that one mistake to Bobby Wagner where he just didn't see him, of course, in the middle of the field. He had pressure in his face. But that's going to be kind of the key here is just the Broncos finding ways to be better on the ground without J.K. Dobbins because there's only so much you can do. He's a seasoned veteran and he's had a good year, but he's unfortunately out for the season. So maybe they can use Marvin Mims more and Troy Franklin more in the run game, just kind of get anything going. The run game was just bad. I mean, you love to see RJ Harvey with 2 touchdowns, but 13 for 35 is that's just flat out terrible. Evan Ingram had a 41-yard catch, finishes with 79 yards. Cortland Sutton, 5 for 62 and a touchdown. The Commanders were basically taking the ball away from him and forcing other guys to beat them, which, if we're being honest, they weren't really able to do. So that's why I said at the trade deadline, I'd love to see the Broncos go out there and get Jalen Waddle. They decided not to give up a first-round pick, which I still to this day don't know why they did that. Because if they had Jalen Waddle, I mean, I think this team would legit be the favorites to win the Super Bowl. He's that good. He's also been durable in his career, but they didn't, so that's cool. But yeah, Bo Nix, like I said, he did a good job of taking care of the ball, made that mistake, but yeah, you just don't want to be giving teams short fields and making mistakes because it's just a recipe to lose, but the Broncos did a good job of that. Talanoa Hufanga, I kind of want to do a film review on him because he was so good in this game. 13 total tackles is insane. 10 of them were solo. They like to line him up on the edge and to send him, and he's just so smart. 2 tackles for loss. He also had this. He almost had another tackle for a loss too. He just couldn't wrap up the running back. It was on a, what was it? Not a draw. It was on a counter run. I forget. Honestly, I forget which type of run it was. But yeah, he almost made a play on that. Alex Singleton, ever since he's come back and been healthy, of course, he's been huge. And yeah, the defense was awesome. I mean, Marcus Mariota threw the ball 50 times, 294 yards. Love to see that. The run game, 143 yards. Yeah, the run game did give the Broncos an issue. It didn't feel like the Commanders ran the ball that well, but it's just because the runs that they did have were explosive. It was either like stuffed at the line or it was a big time run for like over 10 yards. Yeah, so and then in terms of receiving, Zach Ertz was awesome. Terry McLaurin was awesome. And Debo had a couple of big catches, especially late in this game. Riley Moss got beat. He just kind of bit on the fake. But yeah, the Broncos did a good job. They kept the majority of things in front of them. I mean, again, the Commanders have a really, really underrated team. I know they've struggled this year, but no one should be overly surprised this game was close. I mean, they've got talent, and they were in the NFC Championship last year. Whether or not you guys want to say it's because of injuries, that's fine. I get it. But they were still in the NFC Championship. So, of course, going into their building is not going to be a free win. But the Broncos, given the fact that they won, like I said, guys, they are going to be the number 1 seed. They stay that in the AFC. They'd have the tiebreaker over New England based on best win percentage in common games. The Patriots have had a very soft schedule. I think the Patriots and the Broncos are kind of in the same type of tier. Both of them have 10-2 records, but they also are going to be tested against some of these top teams. I think the thing about Denver is that they're a defensive first team. If the Broncos were putting up a bunch of points, but they couldn't get a stop, I'd kind of get that, yeah, I'm concerned about them in the playoffs, but I don't really think there's an offense in football that's going to be able to move the ball on them consistently. The one team this season that had us is the Colts, and that was before Daniel Jones fractured his leg, and the Colts have fallen off since then. So, like, there's just not an offense in the NFL. Maybe Dallas, but that's if Dallas even gets to the Super Bowl. I don't think there's an offense that's going to be able to put up, honestly, like, I mean, the Commanders did get 26, but I don't think anyone's going to even score 26 the rest of the year if I'm being real with you guys.